Hello, this is Watch All About with another watch review, and in this review we're looking at one of the latest offerings by Melbourne Watch Company. So I've had the pleasure of reviewing many of their watches, so it's nice to see their latest offering. So this is called the Collins. It comes in two different variants, and this is obviously the plain regular time and date version. So as you can see, it's a very classy, smart dress watch, automatic, and we'll just discuss it and see what kind of watch it is for the money. So the money then, it is valued at 679 Australian dollars, so that equates to around 410 GBP. So yeah, at first glance it might seem slightly on the higher side of things that is acceptable for a micro brand, but let's continue and see if if the watch warrants the price tag. So size wise, obviously it is a dress watch, so we have a fairly respectable diameter of 38 millimeters. This is a 7.25 inch wrist I'm wearing today. 38 mil in diameter. We have a height, a nice low height of 9.7 mil, and a lug to lug length of 46 mil. So size wise, I find it really comfortable, really nice to wear, looks really good as well, good with a suit or good with a shirt, good casually as well. So I think the size they've got it spot on. The weight is 60 grams, so nice weight to it, not too heavy, but not crazy light, so you don't realise it's there. Obviously it's light enough to be able to wear it for a while, so it's a comfortable wear. It has a 50 meters of water resistance, so that's just one thing to keep in mind. 2 years warranty, and the strap is 18 mil, which tapers down to 16 mil at the buckle, and our movement is a Miyota 9015, which we are seeing more and more of. So let's discuss it in different aspects and see how good this watch is. So starting off with the dial, very simple. This is the charcoal dial, which has a really nice obviously charcoal color to it. It also has a sunburst effect to it, which is like a galvanized kind of steel. So it's nice the way that when you hit the light and you rotate the dial, the light sort of follows it around. So very eye-catching. Construction of the dial is all very good. So we have a Dauphine hands which are pitched. Our second hand has the classic Melbourne M as the counterweight, and then we have these hour markers which are very slightly curved, which is a nice little touch, and they're all polished and very well put together as well. And then we have our date window located at 6. So the colour of this window doesn't quite, it's a black date wheel, so it doesn't look out of place. It's just a different colour, but surrounding the date wheel we have a really nice border to it as well, so that's a lovely little touch there as well. The printing is pretty good as well, and really it's the kind of watch that you can't really get wrong. The design is perfectly fine, acceptable, very classy, and very stylish, so they've done a pretty good job on the dial there. Moving on to the case, so the case is fully polished, as you can see, very reflective, very nicely machined as well. We've got some good edges, good corners, nothing looks chromy or cheap and tacky. It all looks decent quality, which is good. A nice flat sapphire crystal sitting on top as well, which offers very good legibility. Obviously I'm in the conservatory, so you are going to get reflections, but in day-to-day life, yeah, it does offer very good clarity and readability. We have the crown with the Melbourne Watch Co logo engraved on the end, and I always find that Melbourne crowns are a little bit out of proportion to the case, and I think this is probably the same. Again, it seems a little bit thin and sticky outy to me, but saying that, because it's a little bit larger than you'd expect, it is easier to use, so nice and easy just to pull out to adjust the time, and it's got a decent grip for winding up the movement as well. So we have a case back with various specifics around the exhibition window, which is sapphire as well. And then we have, in all its glory, our Miyota 9015 movement. So we have the stock rotor, but with a Melbourne printing on it, which is obviously better than nothing. Better than having the stock movement. So it's good to see some effort put in there. The movement, we know the Miyota 9015 movement very, very well. It's a very, very popular because basically it offers the same specs as the Swiss-made counterparts at a much more affordable price. So we have, 8 ticks a second, 28.8 thousand ticks per hour. You can see it nice and smooth. Decent 40 hours plus hour reserve, hacking seconds, hand wind capabilities, etc., etc., and so on and so forth. So it's also very reliable. It's proven to be very good option for many manufacturers. Out of the box, out of the factory, they're also very accurate. So this one I've put on my Lepsy watch scope and it has come out at +4 seconds a day. So that's not too bad at all. That is within COSC specs. So well done to Melbourne. I'm not sure if that's how it came or if Melbourne have done a little bit more tinkering to get it that accurate. Either way, you're going to get a decent reliable movement which proves to be very accurate. So that's good. So, let's talk about the strap briefly. So a nice black strap, a little bit stiff to start with, mainly because it's quite thick. So a nice quality leather, but as you wear it more and more, as you can see, it starts curving to your wrist, and as that happens, it becomes a more comfortable wear, but just be warned, the first time you wear it, it will be a little bit stiff on your wrist. We have an alligator print on top, nice colouring, deep black to the strap. And then we have the traditional Melbourne buckle, which we see on every one of their watches with this bulge, which contains the Melbourne logo. So there we go. So let's get the macro lens on and we'll have a look at it in closer detail. So starting with the dial, let me just give it a quick wipe. So there's the logo. You can see as well the sunburst effect to the dial as well. We have our pitched Dauphine hands, long and stretching out wide, nice and elegant. And then there's our counterweight M on the second hand. So moving on to our hour markers. So notice at the base of the hour markers we also have a tiny little ball, and that's something that they've done since their very first model, the Flinders, which is a nice little touch. Just that little extra level of attention to detail, something a little bit extra that you don't necessarily notice at first glance, which I like. I like those kind of things. And then we have our polished steel border around the date wheel as well, so that's a nice touch as well. Moving on to the case, let me just give the case a quick wipe. So here's our crown with the Melbourne logo engraved on the end there. You can see our grip is good as well. And then looking at our lugs and our side profile, you can see a nice sharp corner there. Good machining, very highly polished case in general. So it's hard to focus on. So there we go, moving on to the underside. Our various specifics surrounding the outside. And then looking at our movement itself, we have the Melbourne logo printed there. Centre bearing. And then, the movement in itself isn't the most glamorous or beautiful movement, but it's still pretty cool to see. I always like to see the mechanical movement, no matter how plain and industrial it looks, and all Miyotas definitely look plain and industrial, but it's still nice to see it working away. So there we go. Okay, so, let's just have a look. Keep on forgetting about the strap, don't I? So there we go. Here's some good stitching. Nice soft top to it as well. The underside, we have this stamp work. And then looking at our buckle, have the logo engraved there. So, Melbourne Watch Co. Collins, £410 or 679 Australian dollars. I do think, whilst it's slightly on the higher side of things for a watch containing a Miyota, I think the quality of the watch is very, very good, very high quality. Constructed in a way that you can't flaw, really. And although it is a Miyota, it is very, very good movement that you can't really go wrong with. So, highly recommended. I think the design is good, construction is good, and a sensible price as well. So this was the Melbourne Watch Co. Collins, and that's what it's all about.